Yo yo, it's Joe, not your average tree man. Today, thought I'd show you what's in my climbing bag. Now, you've all seen my lovely little Black Panther Echo 2511T. Oh hello! This one does not live in my climbing bag. You gonna let me carry on now? Round two. So, what's in my climbing bag? You seen the saw? Let's dive in. Suppose we should start with the bag, really. This is a Mountain Warehouse waterproof duffel bag. I think it's 60 litres, and yeah, it was about 18 quid off Amazon, so can't really go wrong for that. Nice little pocket to store all your tools and bits and bobs in. I'll do some close-ups and throw that in. So, what harness am I using? We have got a Turtle Burger Tree Motion Evo. So the difference between the normal Tree Motion and the newer Tree Motion Lite is that this does have two bridges, double bridges. But I've only got them set up with one ring because generally I'll use these lower side rings. I don't actually know what these are called. Your waist rings? Does anybody know what these are called yet? But these are fully rated to hang on the same as your bridge, or your ring on your bridge. Not unique. The other harness that is rated is an Edelred Tree Rex, I believe. I had one of those and it broke literally first day of using it. The buckle snapped. So Edelred was one of my go-to companies, and I've lost a bit of faith in them now. So yeah. Going around the harness though, we've got it loaded up with two of these DMM bolts. These are brilliant. These are the locking ones. So I have my saw on this side and I can lock it so it doesn't grab any branches on the way up. And then on this side, that's where I just chuck other stuff. So I like to have a throw bag on me when I go up the tree for chucking my rope and my lanyard over branches and getting it down quick. My lanyard, we have Dreyer Tango, I think it's called. Dreyer Trango, maybe. But 11.5 millimeters, it is wiry as hell. I'm not impressed with this. It's about 12 quid for 6 meters, so can't go wrong at that price. But when this one's gone, I think I'll be moving back to the Turtle Burger. But on the end of that, we've got an Art Positioner too. And this is the best positioning device that I've used. I've used loads of different ascenders and cams and what they're called, rope grabs, micro senders, all those kind of things. And for what we do in the trees, this is the best. DMM carabiners on each end. On each end. There we go. So, on the positioner end, I've got a DMM Perfecto. And then we've got a Shadow on the other end. I really like these Perfectos, particularly for hardware, for gear, because they're really small. However, try and put a clove hitch on one of these or a knot, and they're instantly way too small. But for your zigzag, for your positioner, those kind of things, absolutely brilliant. And as you can see, dead easy to clip things in and out of these bolts. One-handed. Lovely. Move around a bit further, retrieval ball. I always keep my saw strap on my harness when it's in my bag so I can find it. Doesn't necessarily stay there when I'm going up the tree. On here though, we've got one of the regular DMM O's, I don't know, Ultra O's? Normal O's, who knows. And I like this one on there. Where's my sword? I don't bother tying my strap on, I just clip it in with my carabiner, and then this big carabiner, this is what I use to go straight into my harness. Easy to get out, easy to get on. We've got another one of the tiny little Perfectos on the other end, and that just keeps it safe. And moving all the way around to the back of the harness, this is one of the reasons why this harness is quite expensive. You've got a fully rated anchor ring on the back. That's where I normally clip my saw to. Goes on there. But the benefit of this, if you're working in a MUP or up on a platform or anything like that, you can be attached behind you, so you've not got any any working lines in front of you. Yeah, never found the need for it. Brilliant for tiny saw onto and knowing that it ain't going to drop off. Also on the back of the harness, the lads laughed at me when I turned up with my first aid kit slipped in here, but that's what these are for. These will compress a first aid kit, and mine has got Velcro attachments on it. So all I need to do is reach behind me, rip the Velcro, and I've got my first aid kit in my hand if I've really messed up. So yeah, one last little thing that I've got special on these. We've got some of these Dmm Stowaways. When we're working in complicated trees, sometimes you might not be able to reach all the way round to your gear loops, and as I say, I'm from a rock climbing background. I'm used to having gear loops easily accessible on the front of my harness, and yeah, these kind of replace those. So this sits on my leg, and if I'm pruning, I can just grab my secateurs, snap them into that. 1 second, I'll show you. Grab my secateurs, snap them onto my leg. Lovely. Also, if I've not got a saw with me, go nicely on these Dmm bolts as well. These, by the way, these are the standard Akatsume silky saw secateurs. They are absolutely phenomenal. So, I think that's the harness done. Cambium, throw bag, throw line, standard stuff. Oh, my regular rope is a Yale, what's it called? A Yale twist. Before that I think it was a Skittles, I'm not sure. And on there we've got a couple of these snazzy gold Perfectos with a regular zigzag, not a regular zigzag, sorry, zigzag plus with the pulley. Well worth it, the pulley. And also zigzag Petzl have got a recall on some of their zigzags, so if you're unsure, if you're not aware of that, check on the Petzl website, check their press release, and just double check, because if yours is potentially faulty, you want to get that looked at and sorted. Rubbish, old, static, workhorse, pulling rope for tying stuff together and getting messy and messing up. And it's cheap, it's strong. It's actually it's 10mm, I think. So this is from my rock climbing kit. Static rescue rope. So it's there for rescue if you need it. But to be honest, this is the trashy rope that we just trash about. I like having it in my kit bag because inevitably when we need to do something trashy, we ain't got a trashy rope. One here. Yeah, I've been looking for this for a while. My waterproof. That doesn't actually normally live in there, but you know, just found it. Got a couple of endless slings, and Prusik, rescue kit type stuff. To be honest, I do generally have a Prusik, or actually, I'll normally just have a lightweight sling on my harness. This one, in fact, is a bit thinner. And you can still tie this like you would tie a Prusik, you know, do just a regular French Prusik or a Clementheist. They work a little bit better with tape slings, endless slings. So yeah, I like having one of these with me. Also good for redirects. Knocking about in the bottom, there's all sorts of stuff that I should probably get rid of. We do have a little lanyard that I used to have on my silky, but it just got in the way. But the amount of times that I drop my silky, I should probably put something like that back on it. A couple of carabiners, a couple of snap gates, tiny little snap gates. These are gear tags. These are brilliant. So all of my carabiners, oh, they're starting to come off. That's why they're in here anyway. All of my carabiners are wrapped with these little gear tags. And that way, because we've all got a lot of the same stuff, you can tell whose is whose. You can get them in all different colours. I think I can't remember who they're made by. I'll post up who they're made by. Other bits and bobs knocking about. Pulley, big bar for the echo. Tend to keep that in there just so that I've always got a spare bar and chain with me. Chain's knocking about as well, somewhere in here. Chain. Combi spanner. Eye to eye. I was given this by Lewis actually. I was going to set this up as another little friction based lanyard system, but never got around to it. Wedge with a hole drilled into it that you can clip onto your harness. Never actually used it. Everyone recommends them. Never used it. And my Protoss. I love my Protoss helmet mainly because I wear glasses and it's got my prescription glasses in it. We'll do a review on the Protoss and the prescription glasses system at some point. But spare sweatband for that. Because I was always paranoid it was going to fall out and I was going to lose it, and lo and behold this is empty because it fell out and I lost it. So I was really thankful to have a spare sweatband in there because they're really uncomfy when you've not got one in, and yeah, if it falls out and you can't find it, you'll be very thankful. And that is everything in my work climbing bag. You'll notice there's one glaring omission, that's climbing spikes. I've not bought any yet, that's why. But I've had the opportunity to try my boss Alex's. He's got some Tree Hug aluminium spikes. They're really quite lightweight. Lewis has got some Steins, I think. Yeah, I've used them a couple of times. They're much comfier, but then I got them wrong when I put them on last time, and oh, we had some issues. So my advice when you get into stuff that affects your comfort, particularly the harness, particularly spikes, try as many on as you can. Yeah, that tree motion, that's well comfy, but it's very, very rigid. If you want something a bit more supple that'll move with you, have a look at the Petzl Sequoia. Equally, if you're a big chap, you've got a bit of weight, have a look at the what they're called, the Skylotech. They're well supportive, but they are quite bulky and quite heavy. So yeah, that's my climbing kit. One last little bit to show you. Last piece of the daily kit, Silky Saw in one of these Derbyshire saw pods. Sits nicely on my leg. I generally keep it there all day whether I'm climbing or not, because then I know where it is. When I first started, before I had my chainsaw tickets, I had some of the Arbortech Forestry Trousers that had a silky pocket up here. So you silky, a long thin silky pocket. And then when I started wearing a harness, it became a nightmare. So my mate Lewis let me try his, and I ended up buying one. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Notch do one as well, and I'm quite keen to try that out, because what I found with this, throughout the day, it will slowly twist round, move round on my leg. So when I do put it on, I tend to put it on the shin, on the front of my leg. And then as it turns round, it'll only go so far and it's in the right position. Yeah, the saw, on that note, is a Silky Gone Toro. Used to have a 240mm, this is a 300. Much prefer the 300, just got that little bit more reach, but it's a straight blade. So when you're bopping about up in the trees, you can do actual felling cuts. You try doing a back cut accurately with the Zubat or one of them big curved swords, yeah, won't happen. Yeah, what we do a lot of, we'll do a lot of primary cutting with the chainsaw and then leave a wide hinge, for example, come in with this, and then we've got a handheld piece without having to do any dodgy one-handed chainsaw work. Yeah, works really well. Anyway, all my climbing kit, apart from the helmet, but yeah, there's a teaser for the next one. Protoss with the integrated optical inserts. I'll see you around.